All right, welcome back. We're gonna hop on the ferry and head across the Mississippi River to Algiers Point. Here we go. Named for a navigation bend in the Mississippi River, Algiers Point was an independent municipality for 30 years from its founding, and even today it retains a quiet small-town atmosphere. Bordered by the Mississippi River on two sides and lying directly across the river from the French Quarter, Algiers Point continued to develop as a largely independent town well into the 20th century. Algiers Point's economic origins began in a boatyard established in 1819 by André Seguin. The Algiers Canal Street Ferry began in 1827 and has been in continuous operation ever since. Shipbuilding, repair, and other riverfront endeavors flourished, and in 1837 a dry dock, said to be the first on the Gulf Coast, was established at the foot of present-day Seguin Street. By the 1850s, immense rail yards lined the riverside, providing employment to large numbers of residents and funding a period of intense development that lasted until the end of the 19th century.
We're at Algiers Point.
Algiers Point.
Algiers Point.
All right, let's go, buddy.
It's okay, girl.
He's just a friendly dog.
Algiers Point retains a village atmosphere and is isolated from the city of New Orleans by the natural barrier of the Mississippi River. The Algiers Canal Street Ferry was created in 1827, providing an easy commute for its residents. The original brick sidewalks and lines of iron fences remain in much of the area. Styles and types of homes commonly found in the district include Creole, Greek Revival, Victorian, and Edwardian styles. Rebuilding after the Great Fire of 1895 resulted in a number of bungalow-style residences, as well as some Mission, Revival, and modern-style buildings. All right, first stop in Algiers Point is Barracuda Taco Stand.
The chicken taco?
Oh,
You
no.
guys never eat it, so just get one.
Appreciate you. All right, the pork bowl. What you eating, Lil? You got some chips and cheese? Yummy.
Guess what I have?
Coca-Cola? Yum, dude.
Diet Coke.
Good, good.
Diet Coke.
Okay, 2 hands, okay? 2 hands. There you go.
That guy's eating had a chip on his butt.
Daddy, Dad, guess what? We do have a chip on his butt.
What?
Did you hear that?
All right, so we just ate some delicious tacos at Barracuda. Now walked back over to the riverbank on the west bank of New Orleans. New Orleans is right over there, Mississippi River. And what we have here, historic Algiers. Algiers, established in 1719, is the second oldest neighborhood in New Orleans. Originally called the King's Plantation, it was first used as a location for the city's powder magazine, a holding area for the newly arrived African slaves, and the first port of call for the displaced Cajuns. All right, let's walk a little this way. Right here is where we got off the ferry. Let's see, probably have to walk back over this way. There's another historical marker sign down this way. It's a great little location right when you get off the ferry. There's a bunch of bars, coffee shops, the taco stands right down the street. And it's about a 5-minute ferry ride from New Orleans. You park at the aquarium, hop on the ferry. There's a ferry running about every 5 to 10 minutes. So it's pretty cool. All right. Walking, there it is. All right, outside of the old Algiers courthouse. This was built in 1896. I believe there was a really bad fire here in Algiers in the mid to late 1800s. So right here on this side is the transatlantic slave trade to Louisiana. The transatlantic slave trade to Louisiana began in 1718 with the first two ships bringing African captives to the region in 1719. The first ship to arrive at this site was the Expedition, which landed 91 enslaved people, most from the Senegambian region, in 1723 at a plantation owned by the French-operated Company of the Indies, now part of the area known as Algiers. By 1725, the vast majority of enslaved people brought from West and West Central Africa to be sold in Louisiana were put on shore near this site. So the river is just right over there. Some receiving treatment at the plantation hospital before being sold to owners in New Orleans and the surrounding area. In 1731, the King of France took ownership of more than 150 enslaved people held by the company. Through the 1750s, Africans labored across the river as skilled craftsmen, blacksmiths, carpenters, coopers, masons, roofers, and more. Others labored on the colony's waterways as sailors, and here clearing land, growing and processing rice to feed the colony and tending cattle. Under French, Spanish, and American rule, approximately 12,000 documented, along with an untold number of undocumented men, women, and children were forced aboard ships bound for Louisiana. This site, as a port of entry, was designated as a UNESCO Site of Memory associated with the Slave Route Project. All right, the old Algiers courthouse. Let's see here. Erected in 1896 to replace the Duverger Plantation House, which served as the courthouse from 1866 until it burned in the Great Algiers Fire of 1895. Bartholomew Duverger acquired title to the plantation in 1805, and in 1842 the property was subdivided as Algiers.